try Ben Jordan here instead. I'm sure there's some people are like, go back to the other video. Go back to the other video. Ben Jordan. I saw this video. It's pretty boring. TBH turned into a plugin showcase for remembering right. Okay, we'll give it a chance. Isn't this the news? Yeah, so it's boring. With engagement corner? Nah, we're not doing the engagement corner. We can't do the engagement corner every day, guys. I'm trying to clip these for my second channel. If we have the engagement corner in every video, people are gonna think we're actual lunatics, okay? All right, let's do Ben Jordan here.
So the primary point of the video that you are now watching is to see if we can make a realistic sounding instrumental
engagement corner can up views on second channel
piece of music used.
For the last time we did engagement corner, we had to basically like retitle the whole video because none of us were paying attention to the video. So it just became like, what the hell is going on with this? Like that's essentially what the video became.
Recorded performances of physically modeled synthesizers and no pre-recorded audio files or samples. Then
okay, so he's seeing if he can recreate sounds using physical modeling instead of sampling.
Showing you some stuff that can make some new sound.
Physical modeling is definitely pretty promising.
And textures and timbres, and most importantly, stuff that can give you some fresh inspiration when you're tired of the same old VST plugins. As you probably already know, sampling would be if, for example, you were to record this guy playing the violin and then chop up that recording.
See, this is what Paul needs to do in his videos. You can't just assume everyone's going to know exactly what you're talking about. You have to explain even the most basic concepts, such as sampling.
Own samples and played the violin sounds in your own music to try and make your listeners believe that you have a violinist friend. Now, physical modeling, on the other hand, is where some people spend years programming a custom sound engine, allowing you to play
anything's less boring than the
realistic sounding violin with a MIDI and expression controller to try and fool your listeners into believing that you have a violinist friend. A good starting point to explain how physical modeling works would be the Car Plus Strong algorithm, which pitches long echo trails to become an oscillator.
God, it's just gonna be some nerdy shit today. Why? We're here to have fun, guys. This isn't fun.
Here, I'll just show you. Some delay, and we need a little noise burst source of some sort. We need a voltage-controlled amplifier. We're gonna need an envelope.
Okay,
all right, let's wire it up. The gate of the key press, that's going to go into the gate input of the ADSR or envelope. Then the note that I press will go into the time of the delay. I'm gonna have some white noise go into the input
engagement corner. Guys, you can't do the engagement corner every time.
Out to the input of the delay, and then the mix of the delay will go into. And then last but not least.
Okay, there we go. That was engagement corner. Don't hate you nerds. Shut up and learn, you demons. I'm not learning shit right now.
Should have been early.
I'm learning how stupid I am and how hard of a time I have paying attention.
I'm going to hook the envelope into the CV input of the VCA. Just sounds like some delayed noise. I'm gonna make this into a really, really short tick, like as long as it would take for a pick to hit a guitar string. Then I'm gonna bring the time way down and the feedback.
Wow, okay, I'm gonna skip ahead a bit.
A way to, for example, get a Linstrument or Rolly Seaboard or Osmos to give you more expression with your plugins on your computer. I'm not sure that I've ever had that experience once. So MPE is the official update to the MIDI 1.0 protocol. Some companies also find similar functionality with something called Mode 4, and then...
What is engagement corner? Now, not every time I stream, people are asking for the engagement corner.
MIDI 2.0. The bigger problem is that for this, to control this in your session, you will have to go through this. And that works differently in every single DAW, even with Cubase and Ableton having native MPE support. I'm sure everybody has different experiences.
Made us this way, Weaver. Sorry, guys. I just did it one time, all right?
But in mine, the DAW that handles MPE the best is actually Bitwig. I did manage to get
God damn it, Bitwig.
MPE working in FL Studio, but it was a little messy.
Like, Bitwig committed crimes. Don't you guys remember? Bitwig committed crimes like a year ago. It's illegal to use Bitwig. We can't use Bitwig.
For this particular experiment where I'll be loading over a dozen physical modeling synths. The good news is that if you're willing to spend a little bit of time tinkering, you can make MPE work with anything where you can customize where MIDI channels and MIDI CC is going. But please, can we just have one standard and stick to it across all
Bitwig is a confirmed national terrorist. I don't see any documentation to disprove that, so I think you're right.
Instruments, DAWs, and controller.
Ableton made a bigger crime with the push 3. The push 3 is not that bad, man. It's not that bad.
So after a lot of thought and deliberation, I've decided to not play you a piece of music and then lie to you and be like, oh, I recorded this with a group of musicians in 2007, and then M. Night Shyamalan it and be like, that was not recorded music at all. That was physical modeling, you dumb asshole. And
no one is going to fall for that.
anyway, seriously though, guys, this is actually kind of a big deal. A way bigger deal to me than AI music.
Wait, he might still be doing that, though. He might still be doing that.
Is because
have you demoed Bitwig Weaver? I did make one beat on it a long time ago. I used to have this series on my channel called DAW Dive, where I would use a DAW for the first time, and then without reading the manual, without watching a tutorial or anything, and then try to make a beat in it. A very flawed idea, by the way. Do not ever do this idea for YouTube videos, because what it leads to is just people who use a DAW religiously find the video and get really fucking mad at you for not knowing how to use a DAW and for not watching tutorials or reading the manual. Don't do that. Do not ever do that. I had to take down several of those videos just because watching you work on Reaper was funny. It was pretty funny. Yeah, no, don't ever do that series, by the way. I'm not doing that ever again. It just makes you look like, it makes me look like an idiot. It makes everyone else look like an asshole. It's not, there's no winning. There's no winning.
This allows me to write and perform intentful music. And
I will say this, making a beat in Reaper with no external VSTs was fucked up, by the way. That was really fucked up.
Express myself while hopefully delivering the sound of an audio recording of live instruments. So let's begin. So you'll soon understand why I'm writing such a boring sounding song on the piano here. So the first time I was commissioned to write or transpose music.
Oh yeah, I use Reaper. I never touched the stock. It's bad. It's bad. Trying to make a beat in Reaper, it's bad. It's bad.
For players in an orchestra, I completely
not that Reaper is bad, but the stock stuff, plus the way the stock stuff looks, is crazy.
Forgot that brass players run out of air. Bows run out of space. Open notes can't vibrate. Expecting string players to go from a low note to a high note within the same string register immediately is going to result in at least someone missing
no infiltrator. No infiltrator.
Tune by
exactly.
a few cents. But now in this case, those same limitations will be what makes it sound realistic. And these are the things that we miss when we play notes on popular string libraries.
I don't even know what's going on at the moment. All I know is I want that Osmos. What is SWAM? Hold on, let me look this up. SWAM VST. Audio modeling, okay. How come no one ever talks about the Expressive E plugins that have some of the best strings around? Because no one can afford it, man. No one can afford it.
Another thing to consider, all of these instruments approach notes a little bit differently from one another. Like a saxophone is way more likely to arrive at a note with a flat or sharp semitone, while something like a cello will arrive with a slide. You have to consider all these things, learn them.
They're like $80 each? Oh, well, I was talking about the keyboard.
Rehearse them, and then perform them.
No soundtracks with your host, Ben Jordan. Also, $80? $80? Pretty engaged right now. I don't need the engagement corner, I don't think, guys. Don't lie, bro. I've never heard Ben Jordan say bruh before. Bruh. That's funny. I hate when they make the trombone sound. It always sounds harsh. Trombones can be very smooth. If you heard this on the radio or something, you would 100% assume it was recorded music. Maybe. Sometimes even recorded instruments do sound fake to me. So it's hard for me to always judge. think it needs more analog warmth, personally. I think it's lacking some analog warmth. The Swam plugins are pretty good. They are. I unironically do think it needs more analog warmth, though. Maybe some saturation or something. The arrangement is nice, but it has a chops down pat. Yeah, that was good. Too dry. Yeah, I agree.
So I am very satisfied with
Sounds like music for a pharmaceutical commercial. Yeah, that shit's gonna give you diarrhea, epilepsy. It might even kill you. Call your doctor to check today.
this test result. I'm not satisfied with the song. I think it's boring and it makes me feel nothing, but I simply can't
It's boring and it makes me feel nothing.
imagine doing this or
In fact, I always feel nothing.
getting this result with the standard MIDI controller in a sample library. So let's take a quick look at these sample libraries and see what we are comparing this to. Samples obviously rely on recordings, but they often rely
Oh, wait, he did show the Expressive Beat plugins. Never mind.
on recorded performances. And when you're really trying to sound accurate, you have to use a lot of key switches with alternate banks of samples so it doesn't sound redundant. For example, this solo cello has like a dozen or so different articulation maps for the same note, and then there's 6 different dynamic layers here and a ton of
That's contact, pal.
velocity layers, and even then, you can still hear the redundancies.
Dude, that UI is fucking atrocious. No, you're done. If that's the UI you make, you're done. We don't want anything from you now.
Pretty easy to tell that even with the round robin that we're playing the same notes over and over again. If we jumble the velocity around a little bit to get more dynamic layers to play. So rather than being able to perform this expressively, like you would an actual musical instrument,
That's some 2006 UI. This is some cyberpunk UI. All it needs is some gears, and it's ready. It's ready for cyberpunk. Oh, wait. No, sorry, not cyberpunk. Steampunk.
we have to kind of mask it with these
Cyberpunk would be like machines and
different key switches. And then another way of masking it is using reverb,
Maybe they're trying to make it look like a cello. Maybe that's what they were thinking here.
room emulation, and
Ah, I'm over his head again? God damn it. I really just should put myself in the left corner. Everyone's always in the right corner. Horizontal. Sorry, guys. Spazzing right now. Oh, I'm gonna get canceled. I said spaz.
each string
Yeah, steampunk. Yeah, I know. I corrected myself.
has their own sort of body impulse and room that you could put it in. And this actually starts getting very CPU intensive, but also all of these recordings of different performances creating these massive velocity layers and dynamic layers becomes extremely memory intensive. This is running off of a high performance SSD and it still takes forever to load. And then all of that running in a clunky container like Contact, and then a full orchestra requiring, I don't know, between like 78 and 100 different musicians. So that would be that many different instances of one of these samples. I don't know how many computers running Contact you would need to chain together to make that possible, but just having to do this for each.
Reaper's 15 megabytes, Ableton is 3 gigabytes. Most plugins are bigger than the entirety of Reaper, which is kind of crazy to think about. Yeah, but the stock stuff in Reaper is awful. Have you thought about that?
Part, that's hell. And so to get that orchestral sound, we have this G major.
We have two opposite ends here of horrible UI. We had the most boring one ever. Now we have whatever the this is right here. What the hell is this? This is like literally something I would draw in MS Paint. I could go draw this in MS Paint right now. Say I won't. Hey, it sounds pretty good. Yeah, I can compose. Also, you won't do it? I'll do it with this f***ed up hand right now. Say I won't. Easy. There you go. There you go, guys. This is the piano here. Keep in mind, I am doing this with my f***ed up hand, alright? Really, I need to take this off for this to go better. I'm going to do that. Say I won't. P. for piano. D for drum. That's a drum. That's also a drum. That's a cymbal. That's another cymbal. This is the kick drum. And we're gonna write K on it for kick. What else did it need? MIDI. M for MIDI. Done with that one there. Then we color it in. Weaver is cooking now. I am really cooking now. Who let this man cook? I let myself cook. There we go. We made the UI, guys. Oh, we gotta save that. Yeah, UI. We're gonna need that for later.
So this is Sonokinetic Minimal, which at the time was one of the best orchestral sample libraries that I would use for a lot of television composing and things like that. Pay attention to how you have to trigger these properly, because you can't just go from one note to another. So in order to change chords organically, you have to...
This really unironically does look like it was made in MS Paint, though. Like, literally, you just like draw like thick lines, label it with some text, put a few things here and there.
Ready by pressing a chord, leaving only...
Save it in the strictly business folder. Good thinking.
One note. Then getting your other chords set. Let's go to D major.
I wonder how many people clicked on this video thinking he was talking about like runway modeling.
That might be the least emotionally satisfying way to play music in real time. And then all of these sequences work very well at 110 BPM. But let's move it down to 75 BPM. And once you recognize them, you cannot unhear them. In music and film scores and games, they are everywhere. You'll get emotionally invested in a television show and then bam, oh, I hear Spitfire Albion 1.
It's like taking the red pill, you know, it's like taking the red pill in the Matrix. You'll hear riffs from your favorite sample library and you're just like, they press one button to do that.
Right off the old bat, the elephant in the physical modeling room.
That is Somatic's drum sample 23, exactly.
Is Object, which is a newish instrument available exclusively for the Reason.
It's like hearing the Wilhelm scream. Once you hear the Wilhelm scream, once you know what it is, you hear it in every fucking movie.
When you first look at the interface, you'll probably be like, meh. But it's kind of...
No, this interface is way better than the other ones. Are you serious? I mean, it's still not great. The color scheme, I don't know what they're thinking once again, but...
Like an FM synth or something, you can't really have a super intuitive UI right off the bat like you can have with a subtractive synth or a sampler or something. I think that this interface is objectively good. I love that you could...
I see what he did there.
A randomization amount. Let's just randomize it by 20%. That actually sounds like a ride.
Reason is so ugly to me. Yeah, that's right, I said it. I mean, bro, I started out using Reason. It sounds whack so far. You gotta give it a little time. You said ear incoming? All right, I'll be ready to turn it down here.
All right, let's see how close Object can sound to a real instrument. This is a breathy sax. I think I'll be playing it up in this register. So let's say it's a soprano sax.
Was that the ear there? Wasn't that bad. Whoa, was that it right there? Now you have me on guard for ear this whole time. That just sounds like a drill.
I didn't expect this to be anywhere close to an organ, but...
Hey, busy. That sound effect will never get old.
Accordion, why not?
Ah! Jesus Christ. Okay, that caught me off guard too. I'm guessing that was it. Please tell me that was it. I can't take more of that. Or is that it? I have a headache now. I mean, this thing is kind of dope. I kind of want this.
A guitar, huh? I don't know about that.
Sounds like a shitty guitar. Sounds like a guitar made with sponge strings.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard no on that. Some things are very accurate with this engine.
Yeah. Some are like really accurate and some are like fucking way off. I think it's just the limitations of the way it works.
Things are very inaccurate with this engine, but this engine is really, really awesome, and I really wish
this shit gets loud. I have a compressor I could turn on. I mean, I don't know how this compressor works though. It seems like it just makes everything louder too. I'll try it.
that I could have it as a VST3 plugin that I could resize and put into my normal workflow. I'm bummed out about it. Oh, we got it working. I got trapped inside.
This is crazy. This is crazy that you can route audio into it.
I'm just going to play some shit on my desk here.
That's fucking dope. That's what I like about this. He's just tapping on his desk right now.
I'm not about to make another video in the music production business. Well, I am, but not inside this video. But you have to think, Reason has these incredibly fun, well-designed, and powerful rack
And then they're locked behind multiple paywalls.
Instruments that are gate-kept behind a subscription or a $500 initial investment.
Yep.
Why not just optimize and wrap them for VST and clap plugins and then sell them as standalone
Or a little bit more or something. 150, 200.
in a plugin bundle?
Okay, maybe not 200, 150 tops.
ImageLine did this with their instruments for a while, and it got people who had no interest in FL Studio to use ImageLine's products. There's no polite sounding way to put it, I guess.
Flip camera over. God damn it, dude. You motherfucker. Okay, hold on a second.
I do love an underdog, but it's just that these are really great soft synths, but not great enough to switch to a DAW that you don't want to use otherwise.
Yeah.
And definitely not great enough to pay $500 for a software license that
I learned on, okay, thank you, God. Thank you, God, guys. All right, flip back over. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. All right.
you never.
It's not good for blood flow. I'm scared. Thank you. Weaver Furry confirmed. What the f, guys? God damn it. God damn it. I'm at war with my chat right now. All right, flip back over. All right, thanks, guys.
Tend to use. But speaking of VST plugins that you could use with any DAW, first, the obvious choice, Chromophone 3 from Applied Acoustic
That was not the obvious choice for me.
Systems. And I would say that, all things considered, this is probably the most accessible physical modeling VST. That doesn't mean that it sounds the best. That doesn't mean that it's the most powerful.
That's the same algorithm as Ableton's Collision. You don't give us engagement corner, we entertain ourselves. True.
The most accessible UI. That doesn't mean that it has the cheapest price. But if we were to score all of those things in one big contest, I would say that Chroma would probably score the highest. So here's our interface and then presets, and then we have 2 sound generators per preset. And in those sound generators, we have 2 different resonators. So this is a drum head, string, beam, marimba, drum head, membrane, plate,
I feel like programming any of these just seems like a pain in the ass.
closed tube, open tube, and then finally we have manual, which is just a 4 partial additive synth. Not the most powerful thing, but I would be a lot more excited about it if you could type in the values with decimal points, because I
I feel more turned on than anything right now, not gonna lie.
feel like that's when you could really get a cymbal sound out of an additive synth, but this doesn't sound that bad, does it? And let's hear some presets.
Majestic.
I really love this particular preset.
You can't fool me, sir. That's a synth. Wow. Chromophone, Omnisphere's cousin.
That's awesome. Moving on.
It sounds like an ad for like Kyle Beats' new plugin. And the music for that, Ben?
Physical Audio is a company that makes physical modeled VST instruments, and this one is called Derailleur, and it's pretty fucking crazy. So we have these resonator bars that are kind of like metallic bars that are simulated, and then we have a driver. Our driver could be a sawtooth, it could be a plucked string.
So I feel like we're just kind of going through all the different physical modeled synths.
We could change like the pickup position and the pluck position.
I feel like Contact's not really dead. I mean, Contact may be dead for this sort of thing, I guess, but Contact was already kind of dead because of how shitty its interface is.
And there's like drive that we could put on it.
It's no more dead than it already was.
At a bowed
It's like a reanimated corpse, really.
string. Pitched bar. And then strikers, which I believe are just like noise bursts. So what I'm going to do is run a striker in.
Contact should have never been alive. I mean, there are some things I do use in Contact still, but I kind of agree.
To this first resonator here.
I'm ready to make some idea, man.
Pretty much batshit insane, but let's look at bar number 2.
I just see windmill right now. It's weird to me that Contact 7 was just update to the front end UI and literally no update to the instrument editing UI. Yeah, there's so many problems with this stuff. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Just need some OTT on that.
Next up from Physical Audio, we have preparation, which, as you can see these two strings moving around, and I could move the pickup and
It still sounds like a shitty guitar to me.
pluck area.
General MIDI guitar.
We want to make it a bit more bowed.
Valve logo sound? True, I actually hear it. I hear what you're saying there. And you gotta be a millennial to remember this. No Gen Z person remembers this. Physical modeled? I think it's physical modeled. Holy shit. Wow. Wait, let's compare it.
I could
I don't know, I kind of hear it. Tweak the settings a little bit there. Need a little drum beat in the background. Yeah, I hear it.
This is one of those things where you just want to constantly hit the randomize button. Whoa. In the year 2000, a man named Brian Clevenger started a company called Rhizomatic Instruments, and Rhizomatic Instruments made a soft synth called
This is the worst name ever. Rhizomatic.
Absinthe. Native Instruments acquired and eventually destroyed it. And for the last 20 years, I'm not sure what Brian did for the last 20 years, but let's assume that it had something to do with monks in Tibet and relearning how to code soft synths as a true VST master through trials and tribulations. And in 2020,
That makes sense to me.
he returned from that monastery with the CD-ROM. And on that CD-ROM was Plasmonic. It cost 150 bucks
Just hard cut Plasmonic.
at the time of me saying this. And I would say that it is a lot more powerful than Chromophone 3.
How are you guys feeling about this UI here? You know what it reminds me of? Like in World of Warcraft, where you have like those custom UIs, the health bars and everything look kind of different. It reminds me of that.
But not nearly as accurate sounding as
I remember the name of them. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Chromophone 3. To be completely honest, this is not something that would be my first choice to emulate something like a harp or a bell or a marimba or a wind chime.
Getting massive vibes from that UI. How is it massive though? This is not massive. Honestly, the UI is not too bad. Not far from Faceplant.
But it is a very
Problem with this here is everything kind of blends together. There's very little color distinction. You know, you have to read the text for everything.
powerful contender for sound design or just making crazy pads or crazy sounds using a physical modeling engine.
What the fuck is this? I mean, the UI is a little bit different. We gotta give them props for that. This is different. Diff colors to separate some of the elements I think could be really dope. Yeah, or like coloring the sections a bit differently or something. At least different shades or something. Looks like a wannabe serum. How does this look like serum in any way? Yeah, it looks more like Absinthe than Massive. Okay, yeah, I can kind of agree with that. It looks like a beta for like an Absinthe design. Yeah, it's not that complicated, I agree. I had no idea a lot of these existed, to be honest. I'm learning so much today, and I'm gonna forget every piece of it. I'm surprised this sound is coming out of this.
It's a really inspiring soft synth that makes me want to quit making this video and make music instead, which is an amazing thing. That's one of the best compliments you could give something. But one of the entire reasons I'm making this video, physical modeling in general, is such a good place to go.
It's really spacey because it has a lot of reverb. That's what it sounds like to me. But yeah, I kind of want to try this out now too. It sounds good. Interface, not a fan of though. Not a fan of.
Tired of the normal subtractive or FM synth and are looking for some new sounds to get inspired by. Now I am sure I'm missing something. Probably missing a lot of things. But this video has to come to an end at some point. But you know what doesn't have to come to an end? The future. And do you know what the future has? Me streaming. Now I have a streaming channel and it is found at this address right here. And typically I stream every Thursday evening. And on that streaming channel, I'm always checking out new physical modeling synths. This video has no sponsors, and this channel is a non-profit organization. And if you find this stuff useful and want to be a member of a community of like-minded folks, my Patreon is as little as $1, and it gives you access to all
I should paywall my Patreon. I'd be freaking rich, dude. You know what? I think we're gonna do that, guys.
sorts of stuff, including a monthly
Just kidding, obviously, but I would be a lot richer. No, I'm not gonna do that.
songwriting challenge designed to keep you inspired and evolve.
Although there probably would be less heads in there too. No, when we put it that way, that is kind of that is a little bit tempting, actually. Is it? No, it's not paywalled. I feel like maybe it should be though. We'd have a lot of less bullshit. You should definitely do that then. God, I just feel like, can I do that though? Because like there's so many people in there already. What benefits do we get if we join Patreon? At $5 tier, I post some exclusive content. I also post a sample pack at the end of every month. That's just for patrons or channel members. $10 tier, I do like a master fee once a month, but you have to contact me. You have to send the master to me. I'm not gonna chase you down to get it. And then $30, I think I do like a half an hour one-on-one with you once a month or something like that. But yeah, like I said, you gotta chase me down to like get it. Like I'm not gonna chase you down to like make sure you get your perks. Like you have to message me and be like, here's the thing to master, and I'll do it. But I'm not going to chase it down because it's too much trouble to do that for everyone. So you can go check it out, patreon.com/weaverbeats. I'll put it in the chat here. For the one-on-one, yeah, one-on-one. You can do whatever you want. It's one-on-one. No bars.
Hey, yo!
Band Incorporated.